Oh my gosh, it is the end of IAGS and what a week it's been. I've got Anna and Mark, the amazing organising committee. Thanks for chatting to me today.
Oh, it's fun to be here.
It is.
Always wonderful to have a chat with you, Jess.
It is. I want to know about both of your geochemistry journeys. What's your story, Anna? How do you get into it?
Okay, I think it goes back to probably when I was an undergraduate at University of Melbourne, and I was in my hydrogeology lecture, and a little slide probably from a projector popped up on screen saying that there was this like opportunity to go to this NERGS thing, which is National Undergraduate Regular Geology School.
Oh.
What got me involved was that it was in Darwin. So I went and asked if I could apply, and I got in. And so I flew up to Darwin when I was second year, maybe started third year. And that's when I first met actually Steve Hill. So he was running it as part of CRC Lean. And there was a bunch of us from around the country, and I'm still in touch with a few of them. It's a while ago now. And learned all about regular geology, learned a little bit about, site remediation and the environment, because we did visit like Jabaluka and stuff like that. That was really cool. And then after that, I had the opportunity in honours. I did a mapping course up at Broken Hill with Steve through MTech sort of courses, and then ended up doing my PhD with Steve in termites for mineral exploration. So I was in the termite. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I guess the big thing about termites we've heard a lot about in this conference is that biogeochemistry is sort of applied biogeochemistry is using plants or especially and sometimes animals to actually be like your sampling medium for your understanding so the soils or the underlying chemistry of the earth. So we ended up heading out to the Tanami a few times with Newmont and Tanami Gold at the time. And we we're sort of testing whether we could use termite mounds as a sampling medium. So we just, chopping a little piece off, not disturbing the nest too much, and taking that back for analysis through the labs. And it turned out really good. We found that the termites they eat a bit of the grass. Like they're obviously they're the forager of the savannah. Yeah. So they actually eat the most material out of anything. So instead of having cows, the savannah's got the termites that are just constantly eating, and then they're storing all that material in their nests, and then they also ingest that to cement the nets together. So they're bringing all the dirt, they're bringing the water, they're going down to find water as well if they can't get enough at surface, and so they're actually creating this mixed up point source for that local area that they're foraging in, and it's a really great sort of way to
so much info.
Yeah, it was so much info.
That's
and then
so cool.
Yeah, so that was really neat. So and in northern parts of Australia and lots of parts of Africa as well, they are really widespread, so they're a great thing to sample.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
awesome.
That was my origin history.
That's cool. And it's cool you got to spend so much time with Steve. I had the privilege of meeting him finally this week and had an awesome sit-down chat with him. He's just so inspiring. Yes. He's so passionate. It was, loved having a chat to him.
It's definitely, I think that's definitely, I found the right person at the right time. That's really inspired me throughout my career and continues to, and especially not just even his love and passion for geosciences, especially regolith, but also just the mentoring and just being involved and actually creating the spaces to have these conversations and push the science a bit more. I think it's always been something I've been really interested in. And so
100%. Oh, that's awesome. And what about you, Mark?
Well, I didn't know Anna went to Melbourne Uni, but I went to Melbourne Uni as well. So there you go.
And you never knew this about each other.
Well, we're probably a generation apart, so there's probably a good reason for that.
It's still the same lecture theatre, though.
Probably, probably the same lecturers as well, actually. I'm probably still there, just mortified. So I never did geology at school, so I had no idea about it until I went to uni. So this may sound a familiar story. I actually found out I was better at chemistry than geology at university. So at the end of second year, I had to make one of those hard decisions.
Yes.
And it was sort of like, did I want to spend the rest of my life in a laboratory with test tubes, wearing a white jacket, or did I want to go out and wander around the countryside, see the world, smack up some rocks? And so it was a pretty easy decision.
Yes.
It was a bit of a hard road in terms of geology. And so that's sort of how it started.
Yeah.
And then pretty much I worked just as a geologist, exploration geologist, had what one of my bosses described as a geochemical bent on anything that I did. So I'm happy to be a bent geologist or a bent geochemist.
Yeah, love it.
And then that sort of morphed in the last couple of years to working as not always as a geochemist, but people see that as the speciality that I actually had. And fortuitously, when I was working for a company called Renison Goldfields Consolidated, and unfortunately someone's or may have mentioned this beforehand, I worked with this guy called Simon Gatehouse, who was probably the greatest mentor, best inspiration, and had the gentlest way of asking you why. When you were doing stuff. And it was very challenging and didn't put up with any rubbish from me, which at that time I needed someone like that in my life.
Yeah.
And I found him very, very inspiring. And as Scott said, we were the crash test guinea pigs for the original version of gas.
Yeah.
And that's been a seminal thing as well to understand how the spatial context of any geochem data, and that's probably something that's come out a bit and was nice to see in a a lot of the talks this week. I'm segueing for you.
Good, keep going. You got this.
And in that way. So and then I can't remember it was probably about maybe 12 months ago or something. I knew this was coming up and I knew Anna was involved, and I think this is bad. I think I met you in Alice Springs at an AGES conference there with Bunge and Dot, and when Anna told me she was doing the termite stuff, I thought that was great. But, partly because I'd seen some photos of some sampling by a company which I won't mention, but they used to use chainsaws to actually sample the termites and just cut the top off and send it off to the lab. And I thought, I just couldn't imagine Anna with a chainsaw, so I was really pleased to know that she was doing it sustainably and gently, and respecting them as well too.
No chainsaws. I think we did do just little knocks on the mounds, and we often found we'd go back out the next day, we had to retrace our steps to a site, and they'd be covered up, so they obviously would seal them out pretty fast. But
I just couldn't believe how deep. How deep did the ants go? 10 metres plus?
They're very similar to the plants that wherever the water is, they'll go to. There was often a lot of clays in the termite mounds, and we did do some analysis of them a bit towards the end of my PhD, but I've never really looked into it too much. But the clay signature is definitely from the saprolite and not from the transported material at the top. So it's really sand dominated in that area, and these were getting like micas and clays and stuff that you really don't see in the surface. So they're definitely going down at least a metre or two, which is a lot. It's actually
especially for a tiny. That's a long.
There were drill holes on the surface.
We call them nature's little drillers.
Nature's little drillers. That's really cute. So yes, this has been an amazing week. Like, massive kudos to you and all the hard work you would have, I can only imagine, got put into putting this together. What were some of your favourite talks, moments, any of it?
Gosh. I think I'm going to start just generally with moments. I'll have to remember all the talks. It's been such a great week of catching so many things. I think what's really stuck out for me is just from day dot, everyone was just so excited to see each other, meet new people, find people. Like, I am so surprised people remembered me from 2007 at Oviedo in Spain when I went to the last IAGS before, like, kind of taking a sidestep in my career and life. So that was really exciting just to remake the acquaintances. And you can see that just every day, I'm still meeting people. It's still amazing. Having a lot of fun with the name tags, which has been great. I think that's been like a really fun thing, just to find little connections through through those as an icebreaker. But definitely it's just like, it feels like we've all known each other for much longer than these 4 days. Or maybe if you went to the icebreaker, it's 5. And I just I feel like I can see that the impact that I always knew that IAGS had on me, and just my perspective on, like, geochemistry is great, and just my motivation to really try and stay connected to it. Hopefully the people that are coming through and it's their first experience for IAGS and maybe, Association of Applied Geochemists as well, you've sort of helped us put this on. It's going to be something that's life-changing. And I love seeing that in the students, especially because I was a PhD student at my first IAGS. That
is awesome. I love that. What about you, Smee? Major highlights. I went to the AAG conference in Perth, which I think was 19 years ago, and it was called
something like from the tropics to the tundra.
Yeah.
And
it was IGES then too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was interesting seeing that Paul Agnew, myself, Simon Gatehouse, Mike Whitbread and Dave Lowy, we all ran a workshop together. And I can remember at the beginning of it, Simon got up the front and said, don't worry, we're going to tell you lots of different stuff and we're going to contradict each other over the next 2 days. And I thought that was a really good way to start off. Were you there at that workshop?
I reckon I was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I reckon I was.
Anyway, I've seen that a lot, and people are willing to have different opinions on stuff. And there was an example of that this morning, and the respectful way that people agreed to disagree, I think, is one of the important things. There's no right or wrong way to do things, except if you do it my way. But yeah, just that sort of respect that people have different ways of skinning the cat or peeling the orange and that sort of stuff. I think is one of the things I really like about this conference. But in terms of a standout, it's been great to see the number of students that have actually
it's been amazing.
got up and giving orals. We've had people from around the world here. I saw my very first talk on sampling snow, which I've been looking forward to. So Purdy gave a talk about the work that they've been doing in sampling snow in Finland.
That's so cool.
So I'm more up to date on what that actually is, because I put a pithy post on LinkedIn about 2 years ago about it, and someone slapped me for it at the time, and that was very good that they did, and they said we were doing research in sampling snow. So
That's so cool.
So there's been some sort of stuff left field out there. There was a talk yesterday talking about certified reference material standards, and I had a couple of people ask me whether that one would be worthwhile going to, and I said, you will miss out if you don't go to that. And the people who went to it were really surprised. So there's sort of such a variety of topics.
Seems been really diverse range of topics.
Yeah. And it's been nice. We had 6 themes that we started off with, and we've had there's a talk on each of those themes. Some of them not as popular or populated as others, but I think they will grow in prominence over time as people realise. Look, the one I'm really looking forward to is one this afternoon about forensic geochemistry.
That's cool.
I know.
Yes, I like that one.
Yeah.
Even at the dinner, the centerpieces were soils, and the stories behind them was crazy. Yeah. So what? There was like 2 murder scenes.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? There was murder and something else. But I was like, this is crazy. And so he's just like dropped all these soil samples.
Yeah, it's amazing what people have got lying around in their sort of the back of their office after doing these forensic investigations.
I know. It's so funny. I've learned a lot about everyone here, and I cannot agree more with your sentiments about what a tight-knit community it's been. And it's awesome hearing stories of the awesome mentors you had, because I was hearing just so many beautiful conversations this week, even last night at the student night. All the advice and wisdom that people were sharing in that room, I was like, oh my God, this is it's just such a beautiful, beautiful crew, and it's been the best week. But yeah, people keep pet rocks under their bed. People, have all these random things and have been teaching me all this stuff. And I've just learnt so much, but it's been very wholesome experience. I love geochems now. It's
I think
people.
Yeah, and I think what people want to bring to this conference is just they want to share their ideas.
Yes.
And they want to learn as well. So there's I don't think anyone ever comes to this just wanting to just talk about what their company's doing or what their researchers group is doing. They're really wanting to really test their ideas and get that feedback and just make those connections, because over the years these are the people that you can reach out to in an email, check what did you do for this study, and you've got those connections. Lots of people have said they can't believe that they're meeting the people they've been citing for 2 years, and they didn't even realize they were going to be here, and they were just absolutely stoked that they could talk about the final year of their PhD and get things right. So it's just it's pretty great. There's not a lot of egos in the room, and it's just a lot of fun.
We managed to get people to check their ego before they walked in the door. One of the things for me on that is a couple of months ago I did a workshop with Richard Lilly, and that was online, and there were quite a lot of people on there, but I never knew who the people were, and actually Discoveries in the Tasmanite, someone came up to me and said that they were on the workshop.
They were there.
That was another story, but anyway. Some people here, some of the students from Adelaide Uni and the other ones that came along as well. And
That's really cool.
So just knowing who those people are now and just, having a chat to them and them saying that, what the content we presented was very accessible for them as well. Raised a lot of questions and that sort of thing. And I think that's the great thing about something like this. It's an opportunity to challenge your thoughts and think. And I think we'll have a better group of geophysicists.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Far out.
Can we get that
We'll
out?
be like, what a faux pas.
That will definitely.
That's going to come and haunt you.
I was going to say that one is definitely going to stay in. There's no way George is going to cut that one
No way
out.
he'll let you get away with that. No.
So,
I have to censor it
actually, no. Let me spin it. Yeah, it'll make.
Okay, how will you get out of this?
I'm not sure. But geophysicists will be more tolerant of geochemists because the geophysicists will be realising the geochemists are much more rounded now because they've seen all these different perspectives. So I think that's.
Geochems know how to dance.
We do know how to dance.
Just saying.
We don't want to talk about the conga line, do we?
The two conga lines.
The two conga lines.
So there was two.
I missed the first one.
Yeah.
And also there was the quiz. There was the quiz where we actually got up
quiz
front.
was great.
So,
yes, that was a lot of
so
fun.
there's been a lot of fun. Look, and the other thing is we've had BIE, the guys who've been organising
They've been amazing.
Just absolutely everywhere. And I think that's also made and it's also lovely to see how much they've enjoyed the conference and being part of our group for that period as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think there'll be, long-standing relationships that, Shane will be hassling you on no doubt in the future. So various things.
They've put up a lot with me this week, so I'm very grateful to them.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were dressed as a princess on Tuesday night.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
I gave Anita my sparkles.
I heard someone, I thought, okay, so she didn't steal it.
No,
You bequeathed it.
Yes, she deserved.
Bequeath the crown.
Yes,
right.
The sparkles have to be shared.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
think that was really great about the gala dinner too, is that we got to share some of our culture from Adelaide.
Yes.
Yep.
The Adelaide Oval, like
that was such
icon
a cool
of
venue.
sporting
history,
which is really funny that we kind of ended up being there, but ended up being a really great place. And also the Nutbush. So
is that from South Australia?
no, but it's very Australian.
It is so Australian.
Very Australian,
Yeah.
left over from, was it the 70s PE classes or something?
Yeah.
And the amount of people that had never done the Nutbush before, had even known there was a dance attached to it, was fantastic. So it definitely brought us all together, and hopefully the Nutbush will spread around the globe from
I
here.
know.
Yeah.
I don't think we broke any records with it. I think it's like 500 or something like that is the maximum nut bushes they've had.
Wasn't it? Doesn't Nutbush at Broken Hill? They did it was like 2,000, 5,000 people or something.
Oh my gosh.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
That's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're really getting off topic.
Yes, we are. We are really off topic.
No, because
good.
Broken Hill is sort of like the home for my regolith and geochemistry journey. So.
And that was one of the places we caught up, I reckon, 97. Would that be right? Were you there?
97.
98? Steve Hill.
When I was in year 12.
Okay. I'll move on. Steve Hill was running a regolith course out there.
It would have been.
Which is where I met
Steve's
Steve.
first regolith.
That's cool.
Yeah, and look, for me, it's been great. I haven't seen Steve in years, so it's been nice to catch up with respect to that. And all the overseas guys who I may be in contact by email and that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
It's just nice to sit down and have a quiet chat. And some of the other guys, like Mike from Brisbane, we've known each other for a long time, but haven't had that time. Doug Lowy and I went to school together. So, so that was really great. And we just decided to get a photo get George to take a photo of us just to represent the school team. There were two here.
Yeah.
They had the Siro one with about 40. There were two of us and Joey. So, Scott and I could have done Team RGC and there would have been two as well. So we decided that's just too embarrassing, basically.
100%.
So. But what about you, Jessie? What was your favourite?
Oh my gosh. Well, the conga line for sure. But no, I had so many incredible conversations this week. It was awesome meeting some of the students, seeing their passion. Had some really great chats there. But yeah, it was just the general vibe. Like, I'm not even a geologist, let alone a geochemist. And everyone is so friendly and welcoming. Like, it's just such a nice group of people, really fun week. Everyone is so excited about sharing knowledge, and like every chat, it was just oozing passion, and you'd go into all these weird and wonderful different topics, and like, you know, it was awesome to see where the conversations in each interview led themselves, but like, you know, some incredible role models in the industry, you know, sharing advice and like, it's just been so much fun. Yeah. So, no, I've loved it. And you've done some really cool stuff like that should be more normal than it is, but like a creche and like
so
activities for your partners and all these sorts of things. Like, what are all the things you organised and thought of that you think should be more common?
Well, like we talked, creche was something that I think was a no-brainer from the start. Early on, we made sure we had some members of the community that came from WMESA, which is the Women in Earth and Environmental Sciences Australia, and a lot of them were AAG or at least like geochemists in their own right. But to get them along and on our committee, we really made sure we got the code of conduct right, we got that inclusivity and statement right, and really promoted that as part of the conference. And especially, we know it's so important to a lot of people that attend the conferences, but also to all the wonderful sponsors, you know, to know that we're doing the right thing with this. Because it is, you know, we do have a responsibility to people that come, that it should be a safe environment to present. They should feel supported as well. And so that's where the creche comes in.
I love that. Mum's got brought up in my chat with Craig Hart. I caught up with him earlier and he did a huge shout out to mums. Because especially in geochemistry, it gives more flexibility and there is a lot of mothers, amazing. I've had so many awesome female like interactions here and it's like a great part of geoscience too that can offer that flexibility and lifestyle. So offering things like a creche just makes this knowledge sharing so much more accessible.
There were definitely speakers and committee members that sort of chaired sessions that would not have been able to do it without the creche. So I think it's really important to remember that there are people here that wouldn't have come.
So to me, it was a no-brainer. And, you know, in some ways, it's great to talk about it, but let's normalise it.
Exactly.
And it should be offered at any conference. So that, you know, it doesn't have to be highlighted. It's just part and parcel of everything.
Exactly. Part of the expectations.
And one of the other things, we didn't set formal targets or anything like that. We sort of talked about, you know, 30 for overseas, 30 for early career scientists, 30% for female participation. And, you know, we've pretty come close to that without even trying. And so I reckon that's a great thing as well, that it wasn't saying, oh, we have to promote these people to do that sort of stuff. So all the talks went through and that, you know, we're really grateful. Not only did we have our organising committee, but we pulled some other subject matter experts in. And they got the abstracts, they were given deadlines, I had to follow them up, I had to follow them up again, and I had to follow them up a third time. We got there eventually. And and everything was sort of judged and ranked and and then I sort of just looked at how it fell out and I thought I was really proud of that, that it just fell out pretty close to the way that we wanted. And of course there's been a few last minute jiggings and, you know, look, there might be one person today who hasn't given her presentation in yet.
I've sorted it out, okay. We're doing it from my laptop. But all
you know,
organised.
There's always these last minute things that have to be contended with. So
100%.
And that's sort of been the fun of it as well, and also keeps up your adrenaline
it does.
through for the week as well. So
nothing like a bit of pressure to really, you know, hit you on the edge of your seat.
I think the hard thing is that, you know, Monday will be reality.
I know. I've already had this conversation with someone. They said my come down's going to be pretty hard. From just the excitement. Obviously, this is something I really love doing anyway, but to be part of this is going to be hard.
And one of the good things about having people together, like for IAG itself, is that you know, I've been able to tap people and say, look, it'd be really good for you to think about being on council next year. And you know, if we want to do things and change things and that sort of stuff, then, you know, we need new people being involved and to help the people who are already there on council to actually, you know, look at where AAG is going to go. And the session that'll be done this afternoon will be talking about some of those things, what the future is for geochemists. And we've got some diverse opinions from 4 different people.
That's
and
cool.
and we'll just sort of have a chat, and the students have already started asking questions. So that's great.
I love that. That's really cool.
And that's, I think, a great way to actually end the conference is to talk about future, you know, when you're on the way out the door. So,
Speaking of future, can we make any announcements about the next one?
What a segue.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. Gosh, it's going to be exciting. I think 31st International Applied Geochemistry Symposium, heading north, Beijing. It'll be very exciting.
2026.
2026, hopefully. Yeah, it should be 2 years. Should be 2 years. Yeah.
Wow. Bring it on. How cool.
Yeah.
Well, no, this has been an absolutely incredible week.
Yeah.
Well done to you and everyone else that's been involved. But honestly, it's been amazing. My cup is very full.
Yes.
I've had the best time. So
Yeah.
thank you for trusting in me to be here. And it's just been, very, very awesome week. So well done.
Absolute pleasure to have you here, Jess.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it has
It's been
been
really
so good.
It's
Yeah.
like all killer, no filler. Love it. It's been a great conference. I really appreciated it. And I appreciate this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a colourful conference.
It's been
I will say,
colourful.
we haven't talked about it. We're going to be wrapping up the clothes. Clothes been on point.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get the message
No,
today,
that's
so
okay.
I know.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Nah, we've really stepped it up.
Yeah.
We've gone all leaning in and dressing hard. It's been
Having
good.
fun. I think
It's been
just
fun.
like it's a comfortable conference.
Yep.
Bit of
Express
expression.
yourself.
Yeah.
been good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
But no, you're awesome. Keep doing you. Thank you for everything. And
Thanks, Jess.
well done.
Hey, we'll see you in 2 years.
Yeah.
Beijing.
Woo woo.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.